सम वेट, कुछ वेट लेके आइए। Yeah, good morning once again, and I am Venkat Reddy, director of this institute. This is a deputation post for me. Actually, I am a forest officer, not a scientist or a academician. And I think you are all students, and you are the best stakeholders for us, because our you will carry our message uh, to the people, as well as you better implement what we teach than other stakeholders, because all of you are very enthusiasts. We are all are in this life sciences and biodiversity conservation. You are very much enthusiastic. That's why we have selected you as our stakeholders. You are the messengers, and you have to develop such interest in biodiversity conservation, so that it will be benefited our benefit us in conserving biodiversity at local level, at national level, or at global level. The importance is growing, as all of you are know. The, nowadays everybody is conscious about, and you must have studied in your school level that it is our fundamental duty. Article 52 AG says that it is the fundamental duty to have compassion for wildlife and conserve our resources like rivers, lakes, and we have to conserve our biodiversity, wildlife. This is our fundamental duty. It is the and it is the responsibility of all the citizens of the country to protect wildlife and biodiversity. And not only that, it is the in directive principles of state policy also, 48 it is mentioned that it is the duty of the government to protect the environment. For that, government is taking so many measures, as you know. With that will be covered in subsequently. And with this background, we have organized this biodiversity conservation methods, biodiversity assessment methods, and mapping methods. This is, topic has been selected for you to making you aware, and not only that, you will have hands-on experience how to conserve. And biodiversity is gaining very important, as you know, since 1972 UNESCO was formed. UNESCO is also doing a lot of things in conservation of our biological resources to national and international level. I think you have heard about UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Under that, natural heritage sites also UNESCO recognizes, so that our protection will be made easy and conservation importance will be recognized. Like that, in India, how many such natural heritage sites are there? Seven such natural heritage sites are there, recognized by UNESCO. It is Paris, its headquarters is there. And in India also, this UNESCO World Heritage Sites are there. They are conserving biodiversity, especially in Western Ghat areas. They are very rich, unique, endemic species of natural and unique. Nowhere else that those some of the species are found. Such sites are recognized by the UNESCO. In our Western Ghats, in the Kerala, Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra, Western Ghats, and they are recognized as World Heritage Site. Like that, Kaziranga National Park, Manas National Park in Assam. Some of you must have come from Assam or Northeast. Like that, in Himalayan region is also very rich in biodiversity. Like Himalayan National Park in Himachal Pradesh, Nanda Devi National Park in Uttarakhand, uh, even Keval Dev National Park in Rajasthan. These are the UNESCO natural heritage sites. They are conserving biodiversity. And uh, in many other countries also, such very unique, like Great Barrier Reef in Australia, such UNESCO World Heritage sites, they are conserving, especially for conservation of biodiversity. But because it is in no time, it will be lost. Since many species have become extinct because of man-made factors, becoming the rate of extinction is becoming increasing. Like, but natural calamities that occurred in various time periods, due to this volcanic eruptions, due to asteroid hit, due to this natural calamities like droughts, during ice age also mass extinctions taken place. But these are natural calamities. But in the modern era, what is happening? Due to man-made factors, the wildlife is fast extincting, and we can assess. And that's why we are conducting this monitoring and assessment too. And this inventorying is also important too. Without inventory, we can't monitor. That's why this inventorying technique is also important. And that's what our scientists want to teach you, how to inventorize biodiversity, how to map it, so that we can know the extinction rates since past 100 years, how species is declining, so that in how many years it is going to be extinct. That's what you can estimate, so that appropriate measures for its conservation will be taken place. And with that intentionally you need to know this biodiversity assessment methods and survey methods, sampling methods, monitoring methods and mapping methods, so that we can conserve them effectively. That's what this the mandate of objective of this training program. And these techniques will be taught to uh, these biodiversity methods. And coming to uh, and biodiversity, there are we need to conserve at many levels. We have species level biodiversity. I think you may be having some knowledge about molecular biology techniques. And recently there are a lot of advancements have come. Some tree species were they were put in the same species, but after diagnosing this chromosomes, identifying chromosomes, they were kept in separate species. And some after this genetic sequencing and genome mapping, they were put under different races, even though it is the same species, different species. That's what this genetic biodiversity says. You should know the basic molecular techniques, molecular biology techniques, so that you can know the species genetic level diversity, and you can conserve effectively our varieties. And not only that, this species level diversity you can directly observe. You can directly go and survey species by plotting this quadrants, and you can enumerate the trees, and you will know the diversity of the species diversity of that area. And that is species level diversity conservation, you can do it. And not only that, third level of the biodiversity conservation, what it is, ecosystem level biodiversity. For that, how we will do? There are other techniques also. You can't see the whole ecosystem ocularly. You have to use some other advanced techniques, like remote sensing technique. What it will and screen the entire land area, and you can know the where grassland ecosystem is there, where forest ecosystem is there, where this mountain ecosystem is there, where this offshore ecosystem. Like that, different types of ecosystems you will do mapping through GIS and remote sensing techniques. And you should know for effective management too, you should know this GIS techniques also. And that also some course is there they will offer, so that you can effectively monitor the ecosystems, and you can conserve biodiversity at ecosystem level also. For these are the basic for this floral biodiversity you will do, because plants stay at one place, no, they will not move. But how for the animals, how can you do survey monitoring? For that also different techniques are there. And that species, they migrate to different places. Like I used to work at Andaman Nicobar Islands during my tenure at 2003 to 5. We used to manage a leatherback turtle hatchery, a nesting site in Great Nicobar Island. You must have heard, southernmost island in India. And there used to be a leatherback turtle nesting site, and we used to have a big hatchery and nesting site. All giant leatherback turtles. They are the largest turtles in the world. Used to come from Australia and other Southeast Asian countries to Great Nicobar Island for nesting. Every year they used to come. I think every year they used to go to Australia and come back to same site, same beach every year for nesting. We used to collect all those eggs and put in hatchery, and after hatchling, the hatchlings will be released into sea. We were doing that during 2003 2004. And some NGOs, we together with our forest department, we used to tag those sea turtles also every year with metal plate or something, some tag with number plate for each leatherback turtle, and we used to release back into the sea. And so that next year they come, we used to record it. Like that, we can know the species diversity abundance, whether they have become lost or whether they have increased. And they will every year we used to tag it like that and release it to sea. so that we can monitor those diversity of those the the species number, abundance, species richness, species diversity. We can know, we can monitoring that is one of the technique for surveying, inventorying of wild animals, fauna. Like that, in many migratory birds also ringing will be done. For I think recently cheetahs were introduced. Some radio collars were used. Why I'm telling all these are the inventorying, monitoring techniques for biodiversity assessment of wild animals. Not only plants, animals also. We have to assess the biodiversity. For all these are the techniques you should know, because forest department staff all knows these basic techniques. But forest department alone cannot do. Forest department to work in forest areas where we have national parks, sanctuaries, reserve forest, protected forests. All recorded forests will be with the forest department. But animals, they don't have boundaries, no. Many areas are outside the forest areas also, and it is the duty of every citizen. I initially I told, and for that reason, nowadays many eco clubs are coming, nature watchers club, bird watchers club. They are also recording birds, so that we can know their diversity, whether they are becoming extinct or their numbers are increasing or decreasing. The data is generated from people. Forest department is a less number of staff. They can't be present everywhere, no. And because enthusiastic like people like you, they can do the better job than other. Because the forest department also does. We have project tiger, project elephant. Every year tiger census, every biannually, elephant census, rhino census, dolphin census. That census will be, data is released. Tiger population is increasing, elephant population is increasing, they are saying. But whether their carrying capacity is increasing or decreasing, that also we have to monitor. Like elephant population is increasing, but the habitat is destroyed, then that will create another problem. They will venture into villages, they will destroy your crops. That is another problem for forest department. For that reason only, effective monitoring, surveying, inventorying is necessary. And not only that, animals are that their habitat is specific, their food habits are specific, and we have to survey both too. Not only animal, birds surveying is not enough. Their habitat has to be surveyed. Their uh, prey predator relationship also has to be surveyed. Because as you know, this panda eats or bamboo shoots. If a bamboo is lost, panda will also be go. We have to monitor both. How much bamboo area is there, how much pandas it can sustain, that we have to correlate. By inventorying, by monitoring, we can do this kind of job. Not only that, in Australia one animal called kayola called, it eats only eucalyptus leaves only. But eucalyptus is not there means that animal will also go. Like that, this relationship is also important. And as you know, there will be some keystone species like tiger. It will not survive alone, no. It needs a lot of prey base, lot of deer, bison, other prey base should be maintained, so that it can survive. Otherwise it will not survive. And we have to maintain this carrying capacity also, because they are the range animal. Minimum area should be their range. For the tiger is used to be there. And even for elephants also, if their number is increasing means their food also has to be increased. Like it eats melotus, it is melotus trees, areas have to be conserved. And not only that, this habitat has to be protected from fragmentation. Nowadays, if you see the remote sensing maps, what you will observe, many highways, many railway lines, many transmission lines, many canals, many irrigation projects, many mining areas, all are coming where? Inside the forest areas. What it is causing? It is causing fragmentation. Is it good or bad? It is bad. It is fragmentation is taking place. I think in biodiversity also you must have studied about alpha diversity, beta diversity, and gamma diversity. But due to fragmentation, what it is happening? Beta diversity is increasing, gamma diversity is decreasing. And but it is not the good. Gamma diversity is the overall diversity of the all the ecosystems, and beta diversity means it is localized diversity only. And common to. Alpha diversity is the total number of species in each ecosystem, but gamma diversity is the total number of species in all the ecosystems. That has to be increased, because if it is fragmented, this gamma diversity is decreasing. For that, you have to what you have to do? You have to conserve the ecosystems intact. You have to establish connectivity between the ecosystems, so that you can maintain the gamma diversity, so that we can conserve the genetic resources effectively. There is no movement of animals due to fragmentation. Their breeding is restricted, and some of the species are becoming extinct. Only one or two species, male or female species, is found, but the breeding is not taking place, and due to because of this fragmentation, due to that, this lot of species have become extinct, and we need to conserve. Like that, nowadays this many people, like very wildlife enthusiasts, they are suggesting for this corridor restoration, and all these things will come under this biodiversity survey monitoring, and biodiversity monitoring methods. You will know about what is alpha biodiversity, what is beta diversity, what is gamma diversity. They will teach you, and what are the technique for different techniques for biodiversity indices making, and after surveying monitoring, and you should know the basic statistical techniques also. For inventorying also, plants, you will do these quadrants, how to lake quadrants, how to enumerate to tree species, that, and how you will record it, how you will monitor, that you will do. And for animals and plants, similarly, you have take appropriate sampling techniques. That is essential. Whether go you will go for random sampling method, or stratified sampling, or systematic sampling, that you have to decide based on your ecosystem type of study requirement. And in systematic sampling, you will do at regular intervals, you will make plots, and you will enumerate trees, and you will record the, and you will make transects. Along the transect, you will note the different kind of animals and birds, and record it, so that you will know the diversity of the plant or animal species. And for similarly plants also, you will know the diversity by enumerating and there is species richness, species abundance, you will know. And and what are the, whether proper ecological balance is maintained or not, you will see. Nowadays, I think you have noticed that in high-rise buildings, you are this pigeon population is increasing. Why they are increasing? In urban areas, there is no predator species like hawks, eagles. They catch them and eat. But in urban areas, the hawks, eagles are not there. That's why pigeons are increasing many numbers, and they are causing many diseases to people in apartments and high-rise buildings. And in our campus, in same city itself, in our campus, we can't find a single pigeon, because the predator is there, hawk is there, eagle is there. That is called keystone species. That will control the entire ecosystem. Keystone species is lost. This ecological balance is also lost. In our campus, that is there. That's why pigeon population is maintained. All other birds also we can notice. Okay. Like in adjacent to colonies, there is pigeon population is more. There is no predator is not there. Like that, in our campus, peacocks are more, and they are controlling snakes and other reptiles they eat. Like that, ecological balance is maintained by the keystone species. And we have to protect the, why government of India is protecting the keystone species means, this is project tiger, project elephant, because they are the keystone species. If we protect the tiger, whole ecosystem will be protected and balance is maintained. I visited in some of the countries like Japan. I visited, there is no predator like tiger or leopard. Their deer population is increasing enormously. They will issue licenses to shoot the deer population, so that the regeneration will come up. And while working in Andaman, so I think earlier, before that, they have introduced to deer and leopard. But deer survived, leopard has not survived because of this climate factor, climate and other. There are many leeches are there, because they can't survive high rainfall. In 8 months, there will be rainfall. I think there was wild boar is there, but the leopard could not survive. They have become extinct, and deer is increasing, but it is not permitted. No, deer can't be permitted. It is a scheduled the animal. There are 4 schedules are for, because the scheduled animals have to be protected. And there is a fifth schedule also, vermin. Some of the species they are becoming more, and they will be hunted, because otherwise their number will increase. They will become nuisance. If something is excess, that is becoming a nuisance. If it is within the limits, that will be tolerable. And like crows, sometimes wild boar, sometimes nilgai, such species become vermin. Their numbers increase abundant, and they have to be controlled. And forest department will give permission also for hunt them. Sometimes, if farmers request, the forest department issue licenses to shoot wild boar, nilgai to protect their crops. And but scheduled animal can't be hunted, but it has to be naturally regulated inside the forest areas. Outside the forest it is given, but inside the forest areas we will protect it as it is. National parks we can't to do anything. Even you can't to take a leaf from out of national park. That is the strict provisions are there. Even can't to divert to national park land and for any other purpose. Even state government can't recommends also. State wildlife board recommends also. Central wildlife board also recommends. Central government also recommends. Then also the national park land cannot be diverted for even for any other purpose unless Supreme Court gives permission. Such a stringent provisions are there protecting our national national parks, natural biodiversity rich areas. And in sanctuaries also, sanctuaries are made for protecting the specific species. Like if it is rich predominant in particular species of rare, endangered, threatened wildlife, it is declared as sanctuary also. Sanctuary also, all activities are prohibited unless permitted by chief wildlife warden. And even reserve forest, protected forest also protected. But outside also there are many biodiversity rich areas are there. Like UNESCO identifies natural heritage sites. In state also, in country also, within this country also, local laws are there. Even state government can also declare, but central government also uh, declare many heritage sites, like for protecting any, like conservation areas, communities areas. They are not within the protected areas or forest areas. They are outside of protected areas or forest areas. But state government may declare as a community reserve or conservation reserve, where there is rich biodiversity. Like any lake is there, which is hosting birds and other aquatic fauna. Such other areas, some common forest areas where biodiversity is rich with unique floral or faunal species. Some areas sacred groves are there. They are also conservation reserves or community reserves. They are also need to be protected outside the forest areas. They are not within the legal limits of the forest department. Forest department, they will have jurisdiction within the forest areas. Outside also they can protect under Wildlife Protection Act wild animals, killing or transit. But community reserves, conservation reserves also protected under the provisions of Wildlife Protection Act. And not only that, biodiversity as gaining importance, we have signed CBD, Convention on Biodiversity. And as per the provisions of CBD, we have made this. After subsequently, there were Cartagena Protocol, Nagoya Protocol was made, and India also had signatory has signed this convention. We have to abide the agreement of conventions of CBD, and we have made Biodiversity Act in India also. We are for making protecting our biodiversity. Under that also, in state government may declare natural biodiversity rich heritage areas. Biodiversity rich heritage areas they can declare. BH sites, biodiversity heritage sites they can declare and protect, which are having any birds or any other animals are rich in biodiversity. They can declare, and for that we have to justify. We have to how many species are there, what are the endemic species, what are the rare endangered species. You have to identify, record, and submit to government. Then they can declare, or and other activities can be restricted and protected. Even outside the national park sanctuaries also, some eco-sensitive zone will be there. Even if it is a private land also, the commercial activities are restricted. They are need to take permission for establishing any doing commercial activities, except agriculture and horticulture and animal husbandry. In eco-sensitive zone adjacent to national parks and sanctuary areas, even farmers and other people they can't go for any commercial activity. This is the concept of eco-sensitive zone within the. And there are other provisions for protecting marine biodiversity also, and coastal regulation zone notifications also there. They are protecting wildlife and biodiversity uh, effectively. And I think you are all students, and you are all pursuing your bachelor degree and post graduation degrees, and you are all appears you are very much enthusiastic, you are very keen, and I think you will learn better than us. I think even our eyes may not observe biodiversity, but you the wildlife can't escape your eyes because such a keen people. And I hope, I think this training will be useful to you all of you, and it will generate not only that, many ideas will come to us also. Lot of people from different places, they will share their experience and their ideas with our people, and that will be taken into, and we will form a better strategy for protecting wildlife biodiversity. And it is not the responsibility of forest department, it is the responsibility of all these citizens of India, and especially people like you, students like they will do better than others, and you can have a lot of interest for protecting, conserving, because a lot of opportunities are there in private sector also. In ICFRE, Wildlife Institute of India is there. Many other NGOs are working in the field of conservation, and state governments, they are taking recruiting you as into forest department, and central government you can appear for Indian Forest Service exam, and you can come to our institute as a scientist in ICFRE. And there are a lot of opportunities are there if you cultivate, inculcate interest in this biodiversity and wildlife conservation and forestry field. And I will not take much time, and with this I wish you all the participant, and once again I welcome you, and enjoy this 3 days training. Okay, thank you all.